joined us today. He spent about 20 years in software, about 18 of those at Akamai, leading technical sales teams, global pre-sales teams. He's going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to me, high-impact discovery. No good deal goes without high-impact discovery. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rakesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me at the back?
Yes.
Good? All right. Thanks to Akshat, first of all, for putting this event together. We've been communicating for the past few months, and we finally were able to do it. Thanks, Marjorie and the rest of the team for hosting. This is great. When I was working at Akamai and I led a team of SEs, I had nowhere to send them to. I think this is a great initiative to get people together and learn about this unique role, because I do feel it's unique. It attracts people from all kinds of backgrounds, and it leads to all kinds of careers after you're an SE. So I do think it's a great deal for you guys to be part of this community. I usually tend to dive straight into the content, but Akshat asked me to give a little bit more of a background about my time at Akamai and what I've been doing since then. I started at Akamai in the heady days, back in the last boom and bust cycle in Jan 2001. That was when Akamai was still a startup. And it had been a kind of a joyride since then. The month after I got hired at Akamai, they started laying off people. So it was start of the end, or so it seemed. It got to a point where there were about 500 employees, and it was delisted from NASDAQ in 2002. And I didn't think, or a lot of people didn't know if it would survive. But by the time I left last year, it was about 10,000 employees. I think if you're in the software space, then you've probably heard, if not used, Akamai. So I'm proud to be associated with that company, but more so because of the experience that it gave me. I started out in post-sales, and I played a bunch of different roles in post-sales, whether it was a technical project manager or solutions architect. They called their post-sales consultant solutions architect. One of the highlights of my career there was about 12 years ago, I became the first product manager for their services and support portfolio. Before that, they had not really productized that offering. And we went from 0 to, I think, about 10 million in 1 year. And now if you take their services and support business line, that's north of about $400 million. So I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, but it was a great experience getting that product management experience under my belt. About 5 years ago, the person heading the sales engineering function at Akamai, we had a hallway discussion, and he was talking about the fact that the Akamai SEs were kind of losing their sheen. Akamai had expanded greatly, the quality had declined, the product portfolio had expanded to threefold, and the SEs were becoming more and more out at sea when it came to adapting to the new way that buyers were buying. You could no longer sell just based on a PowerPoint deck. And Akamai SE sold based on a PowerPoint deck for many, many years. The product just worked, and it was easy. But the new buyer wanted to dive deeper, was already aware of the solutions they were looking for, wanted to touch and feel the product, wanted to try it out. And the Akamai SE team wasn't well equipped. So I moved to pre-sales. I headed a global team of principal SEs, and we helped with more complex deals, but more than that, I helped run a bunch of strategic projects, including revamping their entire training certification program, and adapting their SE workflows to the sales workflows, which created a whole lot more accountability in the SE function to be more responsible for the outcome, which is closing deals, keeping customers on the platform. When I left Akamai last year, I was very conscious that I didn't want to do another corporate job. I had kind of enough of it. And I started speaking with my peers in the industry, and I realized that the SE function is a bit underserved, right? And it's a unique role, but it's not focused on in terms of development budgets, in terms of skills development, in terms of standardizing, etc. And I felt like I could use the experience I had with Akamai as a consultant to a lot of these companies, especially the ones that are kind of mid-size, trying to make the leap to becoming a big, legit business. So that's what I did about 9 months ago. So I'm founder and principal at Dojo Labs, which is my consulting practice. Right now it's a solo operation, although I have partners who help me out every now and then. And it's been a good journey, and it's kind of validated my presumptions so far, that this role is unique. It needs a lot of attention, but it's not getting that attention that it deserves. So getting to the topic today, high impact discovery, we all know that tech